Salutations, everybody. It is Maddie here today. I did it. I jinxed it a little bit, didn't I? Now, some of it is on Xbox's hands, but some of it's on your hands, Reddit. I see those gaming leaks and rumors that are popping up. So I said that there weren't too many leaks, but now we have a little bit more information on the Xbox showcase. And I mean, one of the teases here has a lot of the Xbox community really excited because we are finally talking about a potential reveal for Fable. Beyond the CG trailer we saw, we're finally gonna talk Fable. We also have a secret Bethesda game that's seemingly in development and could be lining up for a reveal during the Xbox Game Showcase. On top of that, we have a suggestion that Machine Games may be working on Wolfenstein 3 and much more to go over. It is a jam-packed news update as we storm towards that Xbox showcase with a lot seemingly to be excited about. I don't want to overhype it because I was very excited for the PlayStation showcase and how we know how that went. But this one, we're starting to get some known quantities and teases that are suggesting that we're going to get some needs addressed here at the bare minimum. It's really just about like gameplay, but we'll see. We'll discuss. If you're new here, you're into Xbox news, information, coverage, consider subscribing because right now it's looking like your boy's going to be doing showcase reactions, Starfield coverage, Avowed possibly, and yes, Fable, of course. So consider subscribing if that's interesting to you at all. And now let's start off by talking about Fable. So where is this rumor popping up? Twitter, of course. It's from the official Xbox account. They posted this video that you're watching on screen here, talking about a trail of glitter, God bless whoever had to clean that one up, that's going all the way to a computer for the Xbox showcase. And the tweet says, do you love games as much as we do? Then you won't want to miss the Xbox Game Showcase. And so why is this Fable, is what you may be asking. Number one, the music. Just take a listen. All right, right there, Bowerstone theme kind of remixed. Yep, got it. That seems like dead to rights to me. But the other thing is the glitter leading you to the showcase. What did you see whenever you tracked down quests? Yes, the sparkly, glitter-like objective trails. I mean, it screamed Fable to everyone. And what I found was interesting is an employee from Xbox said, Legends has it in his tweet instead of Legend has it. Maybe a typo. Don't want to overanalyze too much, but this combined effort here says Fable to me. Now, why this makes sense is number one, head of Xbox Game Studios, Matt Booty, has said very recently that he wants to reveal Fable, but that the team said, hey, back off. We're not ready to show it off yet. So if they wanted to show off Fable last year, then now this year we're even closer to hopefully that release date. And it looks like we could start to consider locking that in for maybe that window into 2024 where Fable could be a wow type of moment. Who knows if it's coming earlier? I remember there were rumors that this game was coming out way sooner. I doubt that. But still, it's great to see Fable in the conversation. And there are other reasons to believe why Fable has been spinning up a bit more. Remember when Xbox Publishing posted some suspicious Fable-like tweets and then deleted them and said, we have no Fable news? Well, it's possible it could be a collection. Let's get into it. PC Gamer fortunately has the deleted tweets here, which says, we're excited to kick off something special tomorrow, the Xbox Game Studios account wrote in now deleted tweets. Just give us one more day to prepare the chickens. Of course, the chicken chaser. We all know how that one goes in Fable. And they said, in case there was any doubt, a follow-up tweet read, we call it our Fable anniversary, but that name was already taken. Then deleting those tweets and saying afterwards, sorry for any confusion. We don't have any big game news tomorrow or any info about We Are Playground's upcoming Fable game. To me, the copium part of, oh my God, why'd you do this to us, says, well, they never specified anything about Fable from another company, like a collection. And the reason this all could be possible is listen to what Phil Spencer said would be at the Xbox Game Showcase.
We've got Starfield coming, we've got Forza coming, we've got Hellblade coming, like we've got collections of games. I'm seeing very good builds of Avowed and stuff. Like we're in, like I can see it, but until you have a controller in your hand and you're smiling from playing our games, none of my words should matter.
Collections, you say? Well, it's possible a Fable collection could be on the way. I think Xbox is long overdue for a collection remaster onslaught. Gears desperately needs one. You've heard me bitch and moan about Fallout. Fable would be a welcome addition. Even with back compat, I still think Xbox is just sitting on free money and the ability to add some great quality of life enhancements. Like, I don't know, getting rid of the loading screen, going into the pause menu for Fable 3 would actually be kind of legit, while also creating excitement for new upcoming products. What would get me really excited for Fallout 5 is being able to replay Fallout 3 and New Vegas on modern consoles and so on and so forth. And I think the Fable franchise would benefit from that a lot because we haven't seen Fable in a while. I mean, we saw it with Legends, and well, Legends happened and practically killed the franchise. So yeah, like, it might be a good time to freshen up. But given that the track has been remixed and we already got a Fable anniversary, I imagine this is a tease more so for Playground's Fable game, and I cannot wait to see this one. I'm not a racing game fan, but even I can appreciate Forza Horizon 5 and what they've done with that entire franchise and how it's managed to rope me in a little bit. But what speaks to me more is action RPGs, turn-based RPGs, open world RPGs. As long as it's got those 3 letters, baby, you got me. I'm here. I can't wait to see how they tackle this one, what they retain, what they get rid of most likely. Because Xbox talked about during the Xbox One documentary how one of their biggest regrets is what happened to Lionhead and how they're pretty much directly responsible for killing off that team because of Fable Legends, because of the chase they made for a franchise that just didn't fit, and they had to axe the studio. So I feel like you gotta do Fable right with Playground. You gotta be responsible with it, which is why I think they held back on any sort of reveals. So I can't wait to see this because while I know execs always hype their stuff up, I do like that we've consistently heard from a lot of Xbox execs like Fable's that game. So we'll see with our own eyes. Hopefully at the Xbox Game Showcase. To me, this seems like a pretty clear tease. We're getting something Fable related at the showcase. I mentioned that we may have some information here on Wolfenstein 3. It comes from a senior animator job posting over on ZeniMax's own website. It's when you scroll down to qualifications, it says that you have to have passion for video games and especially for first-person immersive games. This starts to narrow it down a bit because we do know that Indiana Jones is going to pretty much be this jack of all trades, as how Todd Howard pretty much described it. It's got a little bit of everything in it, so it doesn't necessarily wipe out Indiana Jones. So of course, when we think of machine games and immersive first-person games, we're gonna think of something like Wolfenstein, right? Like Wolfenstein 2 with the milkshake scene, like that immersion, that tension, all in first person. Of course, the gunplay being very high octane. Like that's Wolfenstein, right? But I think it's also this next bit here that seals the deal. Preferred skills, it says, is a strong familiarity with machine games titles, as well as experience animating creatures or quadruped characters. So you, of course, see a lot of quadruped characters throughout Wolfenstein, which is why it would fit very well. Wolfenstein 3 feels like it's been long overdue, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it was a while ago Pete Hines promised us that, and it feels like with the silence between Youngblood and now, and Youngblood being a co-developed effort, so really between Wolfenstein 2 and now, we're not sure what happened to Wolfenstein 3. Did Indiana Jones replace it? I kind of understand if they wanted to go that route because Wolfenstein 2 was in that phase of Bethesda making extremely good games like that, Prey, Evil Within, that were all doing really poor on the market because no one was buying their games. So then you got them into the phase of Youngblood, Redfall, 76 of the live service plague that took over Bethesda. And so since then, we haven't really heard from them. But for a while, we've known that it's Wolfenstein 3 and Indiana Jones. And since I thought, hey, Wolfenstein 2 didn't sell that well, maybe they did pivot and put a lot of their resources and assets into Indiana Jones. But then you see something like this, and as they're scaling up and they're hiring and maybe looking, this is a full-time position, but perhaps looking for contract work, that could suggest they're deep in development. Same thing goes for Playground with Fable. Maybe we're going to get some type of reveal here, and this would be an enormous one. The question being is a lot of the things that we've received from Bethesda this year since the partnership have been new IP. So this will be one of the first established IP where it had heritage on old consoles. And if it does get revealed at the Xbox Showcase Wolfenstein 3, I wonder if it's going to be exclusive. I wonder if Xbox is going to lock something like that down. To me, I think so, because I look at how they spoke about Elder Scrolls 6, which of course is going to be the bigger game in the terms of sales. No offense to Wolfenstein 3. It's just, you look at Skyrim and what that did and how long it's stayed relevant for. It's just a rare style of game. So I get why they'd be protective of Elder Scrolls 6, but does that rule set apply to something like Wolfenstein or another Doom game, as we've discussed? And I think so. If Xbox wants to drag people in, now's the time to pull the trigger on any possible exclusive that you can net. So we'll see if they do that. But nonetheless, it looks like Wolfenstein 3 is in development, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Machine Games has been cooking. Sticking with Bethesda, we have this secret game that's been floating around since 2012 known as Giant Monster News. And again, we got another trademark listing for this one, which is described as a downloadable mobile application featuring electronic game programs, downloadable computer game software for use with online interactive games, video games for mobile devices. What I imagine this is what Todd Howard said is a mobile game that is unannounced that he is in love with. It's possible this one is coming from Bethesda Game Studios Montreal. Does this mean this is something announced at the Xbox Game Showcase? I'm not too sure about this because, I think mobile games, Xbox Showcase, I think Gears Pop and how that was anything but a pop for people in the audience. No one was like, yeah, let's go. So I don't know if this is something that finds its way to the main stage. I also don't know if this is a play like we saw with Fallout 4 and Fallout Shelter, where Starfield is going to get its own tie-in mobile game leading into launch. It was a super effective strategy with Fallout 4. It increased the hype to exponential levels, especially with how good Fallout Shelter still is to this day. Like, that is still a great game, no matter how much it deviates from the Fallout franchise. I think it is a fun spin-off. And there's no doubt that Starfield could benefit from that additional marketing. So maybe it does tie into that. But again, this is a trademark that has been floating around for so long. It may just be an independent mobile game. Now, some people have connected this to Roundhouse Studios, who recently co-developed Redfall alongside Arcane. We know how that one went. But according to the LinkedIn profile still for Brad Fawaz, who is game design at Roundhouse Studios, they are working on a game that's still in development now for 3 years and 7 months that is coming soon and unannounced. Some people believe this is Spy Team, a game that received another trademark listing at the top of 2022. I think this could be a kind of PvP style game. It just, I don't know, sometimes names scream ideas in your head, and Spy Team sort of says that. This online espionage multiplayer game, we'll see what it ends up being, but we know that Roundhouse is working on something. And this is the studio that was formerly working on Prey 2, the sadly canceled Prey 2. So I'm very keen to learn what they've been up to. Another undiscussed Bethesda studio is Alpha Dog. Some people have pointed to them, but unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you feel about mobile games, Mighty Doom was announced in February of this year, and it turns out Alpha Dog was the developer behind this. Now, could they be developing multiple games? Sure, this applies to the entire Bethesda family, but I would probably put my finger on either Bethesda Game Studios Montreal and maybe Roundhouse, but I highly doubt they've been working for 3 years and 7 months on a mobile game. So keep an eye out on what Bethesda Game Studios Montreal is cooking with, and maybe that ties into Starfield. But now you've got these two trademark listings that have been floating around for a long while when it comes to Bethesda. And you've got an open studio here in Roundhouse who's working on their own game. You also have Starfield, which could use a companion product. There's a lot of ways this one can go. And so we will learn very shortly, but no doubt things are really starting to pick up here, where there's a lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation, a lot of ideas. I will just say on the note of Giant Monster News, while I want to finally learn what it is, because, for example, Redfall was something trademarked for a long time, and we all thought it was an Elder Scrolls game, and it ended up being, you guessed it, Arcane's next game in Redfall. So it could be anybody's guess. It could surprise us in a way we never anticipated. But if I were a betting man, I'm going to say one of these ties into Starfield in some way. I don't know if just a random independent mobile game is something that Bethesda is going to pursue as a strategy, because they were going to do that with Commander Keen. That failed tremendously, but their biggest successes have been Elder Scrolls Blades and Fallout Shelter. So tying something in Starfield to kind of gain that popularity, gain that traction, to me, makes a lot of sense. We shall see, ladies and gentlemen, but I digress. That's all I've got for you today. Another jam-packed video. And with that, I am so looking forward to your thoughts. So be sure to fire away down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support the heck out of the content here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.